my name is Talia Rubin and I'm a senior at GAN Academy. One of my favorite things to do here is to participate in all of the experiential learning opportunities that this school allows me to have. One of my favorite parts of the school year is Exploration Week. I've gotten to go to the South and participate in some of the opportunities closer to home. But this summer, I got to take my studies a bit farther and I went to Hong Kong for 2 months. I went to a school called Elsa High School, and I studied there, participating in intensive Chinese classes for about a month, and I got to know the entire Jewish community there, both the students, the teachers, the parents. It was an amazing experience, and I think that my experiences at GAN really helped me when I went to China. I think one of the major parts of the community in Hong Kong where I was studying was the diversity that's inherent in the community. It's a very transient community, and so people tend to move every year. They'll move for business, they'll follow, the kids will follow their parents, and then they'll move a year later. And so by definition, the community is going to be a very diverse one. There were kids from South Africa, there were kids from Australia, England, Paris, Israel, everywhere. And so inherently the community is going to be pretty pluralistic. I think that definitely my experiences here helped me address some of the issues that I faced in Hong Kong, whether it was going to a service that I wasn't really familiar with or meeting new students. I think something cool about the school in Hong Kong is that though it considers itself a modern Orthodox school, there are kids from all different parts of Judaism. You've got Reform kids, you've got conservative kids, you've got even non-Jewish kids. They accept non-Jewish students who are mostly local students from Hong Kong. I made friends there who were some of those local students, and one specifically helped me out. I asked to meet a bunch of local kids, and he brought me to meet a whole group of his friends. Ironically, the night that I met all of them was Erev Tisha B'Av, and so I had to make it to Shul right afterwards, and he was kind of my advocate in that group because a lot of them spoke Cantonese and I learned Mandarin here at GAN. So he was kind of, no, she has to go to synagogue. He was explaining what it was, and what was funny about it was that he wasn't a Jewish kid. I loved that I got to have that experience in kind of a non-Jewish environment, but bringing some of the things that I had learned at school with me. On my trip to Hong Kong, I felt very much that I was on an island. Hong Kong is an island, but it really is separate in a lot of ways, culturally and communally, from the rest of China. And so it was very exciting to me when I got to go finally to the mainland. But I went to the mainland with the daughter of the Chabad rabbi. She knew where to find a lot of the tailors in Shenzhen, where we went, and so she was able to show me kind of how to get there, how to work the system there. And so we went together and we had a lot of really interesting conversations. It was a very long ride to Shenzhen, and so we ended up talking about everything, about where we came from. She's from Hong Kong, but she studied in New York, and so it was a very, very interesting discussion. She tends to be a bit more extreme than I am, and so coming from a place like GAN, where it's kind of, well, things are okay and you have to listen to other people, it was very interesting to have a discussion with someone who said, no, that's just not okay. And so I think kind of the things that I've picked up here about listening to other people and being okay with kind of where they're coming from and trying to understand it from their point of view was definitely helpful in that discussion, because I might have had a tendency to say, wait, no, I completely disagree. But it was a very, very interesting discussion. I had a really amazing 2-month experience this summer from a Jewish standpoint, from a Chinese standpoint, and just from a cultural exposure that I had never had before. I really hope that I'll be able to go back someday and revisit all of the people and the friends and the community that I got to know. I also hope that I will be able to bring some students the experience that I was able to have this summer. I've been working with both institutions, both GAN and ELSA, and I really hope that the connections between the two communities will continue to grow.